Michigan going to play in some cold Pennsylvania weather there. It's going to be about 38 degrees at game time. This is the first test we've seen from Michigan this year. They haven't played anybody. I mean, let's just be real. It's been a pretty lackluster schedule for the second year in a row. Michigan has not played a Power 5 non-conference opponent, and they've been beaten up on really, the bottom of their conference. So is Michigan going to flinch whenever they get in here and they see some high-level competition? Because as our buddy Quentin has talked about, it's you can only go on who they've played, right? And I get that. But I've got eyeballs, and I can see that this Michigan team is good. J.J. McCarthy seems to be maybe a step better than he was last year. What's your thoughts on this game, Mason? And where do you see, maybe a good spot to bet here, over under spread? What's your thoughts here?
Well, first of all, finally we get to see Michigan against a good opponent.
This is the first game we broke down.
That's what I was going to say. This is our first preview this season, and that's a shame, And look, people want to hate on Michigan for their easy schedule. Nobody wants an easy schedule anymore. Not this day and age. This isn't the BCS era. Michigan coaches don't want it. Michigan fans don't want it. Certainly, the Michigan season ticket holders don't want it. And college football fans don't want it. We don't want it. People watching this channel right now, we don't want to see Michigan against easy opponents. We want to see them contested, and so it's not a win for anybody. It just kind of happened this way. But all right, so for Penn State, so they're coming off of one of their more impressive wins this season after taking down Maryland on the road, 51-15. They scored more than 50 points, which is really solid for a Penn State team, that has struggled on the offensive side of the ball. And that's the third time actually that Penn State has scored more than 50 this season. Drew Aller had a great game as well with 240 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's something that we've been wanting to see Drew Aller do is get the ball out more to get some more touchdown passes. And really we want to see him get more of those long plays. Dante Cephas was another big star in this game. He had 2 touchdowns. He was a transfer that came in from Kent State this offseason, and they expected him to actually contribute, and he hasn't really done that so far. So they need him to get going to help out Lambert Smith this Saturday. Defensively in the game, they had 6 sacks, 12 tackles for a loss, and 4 turnovers. It was just a dominant win for Penn State overall. So Penn State's hot right now, right? That's what happened. Penn State's coming in with probably their best overall win of the year against a Maryland team that's been pretty bad here recently. They started off pretty hot, but they've been on a slide really since the Ohio State game. So do with that what you will, but I do still think 51-15 is a dominating performance. So as for this game, so I've been saying since the start of the season that Penn State would be either Michigan or Ohio State. So obviously, this is their last chance to prove me right? So I am cheering for Penn State this week unapologetically, along with a lot of college football, given the scandal that's going on with the Michigan Wolverines. I think that Penn State has a lot of carryover from last game into this one and can win this game in front of a home crowd. In order to do so, they're going to have to play their style of football and establish the run game, but keep Michigan honest, because Michigan can stop the run. I mean, they're one of, if not the best defense in the country. But, they can stop the run. So the way to defend that is to go over the top ever so often, right? Just to keep them off balance a little bit. They are who they are, Penn State is, and I don't see them being able to really pass the ball like really well. I don't see Drew Aller throwing for 350 yards necessarily. But if they can set up the one-on-one opportunities and basically, if Michigan plays the run, loads the box, they set up some one-on-one opportunities, maybe that's when they take some shots, and then they kind of back off of the box a little bit. Michigan does. So then they can start the run game up. that's a way that I could see Penn State winning this game outside of just getting turnovers and things like that. That would give them a shot. They got to help out that weak wide receiver room as much as possible. So create those one-on-one opportunities. So for Michigan, this is really their first chance to prove that they can beat a team that actually belongs on the same field as them, and to prove that the cheating that they have been accused of, the cheating that they have been undoubtedly doing, does not negate the fact that they're a good team, right? They've been beating teams that they should beat handedly. But for how long, like how far back does this cheating go? They're looking at like 2021 games, 2020 games potentially. So what take the cheating out of it. Can Michigan win without cheating? That's kind of like my biggest question right now.
Yeah.
Can they win a big game without cheating? Because we've seen the footage of Connor Stallions on the sideline, telling them what play they're running and things like that against good opponents like Ohio State, and they're winning those games, and I just think that it's going to be really tough for Michigan to play with a new game plan, right? And it's not so much that they don't necessarily have the. So I was actually thinking about this today. So do you remember playing games when you were a kid, and you ever have one of those game sharks where you could put cheat codes into a game, and you could play with these cheat codes, and you would just win, and it was so much fun because you would win, easily and handedly. And then did you ever like forget your game shark at home and you're on the road? And now you got to play without the cheat codes, and all of a sudden you forgot how to play, within the regulation.
Like, damn, winning is really hard.
Yeah, it's like without having, like if you're playing Madden, a number, a 100 overall player, at quarterback, like it's really tough for me to win, and I think that might be what Michigan is about to run into here a little bit. I think that we're really going to see what Michigan is at this moment, and what they are without that crutch, without cheating. So I'm excited from that perspective, and of course, just seeing a good top 10 matchup. So for me, I think that the sign stealing is going to have a bigger effect on the game than people think. The game plan changes for the Wolverines now after they've been playing with knowing the opponent's plays for who knows how long. And I'm calling the upset here. Give me the home team, Nittany Lions, to win this game. I think that they're going to win by 3 points. So my score prediction is going to be 30-27. Big win here for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this game is going to be played pretty damn close. And I like a lot of what you said. It's going to be interesting. Ever since Connor Stallions was hired, Michigan has lost 3 football games. So, I don't know how directly correlated those things are. And I like that pick there. Quentin agrees with you. I'm going to take also Penn State, and I'm going to take the plus 4.5. This game has been played on simulators 10,000 times, and the majority of the outcomes are Michigan winning by 3 or less, or Penn State winning. So I'm gonna go with that as far as betting purposes go. Look, we all know what the struggles have been for Drew Aller and Penn State. It's getting the ball down the field and making big plays. This team's got everything else covered. They got a great defense. They've got a good running game, but the running game has suffered because the passing game has been way too predictable. So Drew Aller is gonna have to put the team on his back a little bit here. We saw him in the Ohio State game. It seemed like he was very nervous. Gonna have to get the nerves taken care of here. That's natural. That's gonna happen. And it seems like some people kind of lose the nerves as the game gets going. He seemed really nervous last time we saw him in a big game. So that makes me a little nervous. But with that being said, I like Penn State here. They're battle tested. It's at home. This is going to be a big game. I can't wait to watch it. That's going to be one to tune into at noon for sure.